Hi guys, welcome back to another quick card pull. This is being filmed on Tuesday, August 11th, 2026. Today we're pulling from the Gilded Tarot cards. So we're starting off with the Emperor, and I feel like crossing a bridge. So I feel like they're showing the Five of Cups, concentrating on what makes us happy, or just concentrating what's important to move forward. And they usually show a bridge leading to like the future, right? So even if you're making baby steps in a day, it's like you're doing the best that you can every single day to move forward. That's all that matters. You know what I mean? It's just, some days are going to be, you're just surviving the day to get through it. So you can't be hard on yourself, especially if you're going through a journey at this time. Because I feel like a lot of things are wrapping up, and it's like going through that, cornucopia season, getting ready to accept those blessings. Four of Pentacles. This guy always reminds me of the Candyman. But Four of Pentacles, and it's like we're holding everything close to our chest in the fear of losing it. So one thing that I was writing today, if you follow my account, with the first one where it was the oyster shell. So it's like, you open up, sometimes you find a pearl. So I feel like this is things that we hold close to our chest. Like they were always showing like poker, like we're playing poker, holding our hand close to our chest. Like, you know what I mean? But I also feel like it's just like, you know, instead of like my higher self was saying, instead of worrying about worst case scenarios and the what ifs and living in fear, let's start talking about how things are going to work out. And it's like changing that narrative, because we're with myself, it was always something like like today, really fabulous, and then something else. So I'm waiting for more information, but it's just like, you know you gotta roll with the punches sometimes. You know what I mean? It's just nothing much you can do about it. They are showing the Fool, this brand new beginning. I love like ascending the mountain, maybe even conquering a mountain, but I feel like this is making steps to conquer a mountain. We're right in this cycle right now. So right now till the new moon, which is what, tomorrow? Tomorrow, I would have to look at AstroSeek again, but we're right in the brinks of that. I've been taking pictures of the moon because the sky's been spectacular at night, and all the stars are very illuminated. 222 that I just saw. So if you're someone that does follow those kinds of things, it's like maybe you're getting ready to celebrate, or laughter. You know what I mean? I just feel like having fun, childlike energies. You know what I mean? Fur babies may be significant here. Reminds me of Sonny. My gosh, he drove me nuts last night. But I feel like this is like, celebrating overcoming something. Celebrations, period. The blue butterfly may be something significant. So for me, that is after my father had passed away, there was a monarch butterfly. And then after Shane passed away, there was a blue and black butterfly that looked just like that. So, you know what I mean? I feel like it's, celebrations on all aspects, bigs and bigs. But last night I was like, what cards am I going to pull for today? They showed the Gilded Tarot, and they were showing the sun, and they were showing the star card. They're kind of like, they mirror each other, yin and yang. So like kind of moon. I know it says the star card, but, bringing back in that balance, yin and yang. So they're like relearning something. Sometimes we do have to relearn things. You know what I mean? It's just letting go of the old that does no longer resonate with us. Like, maybe it's been instilled in us since childhood, and now it's like like they said, on ringing that bell. It's time to bring in the truth of the situation. You know what I mean? What we grew up with, what we were taught is like, not what resonates with us anymore as adults, because we have free will, free thinking. You know what I mean? Like you can learn on your own basis rather than fear based learning, and, move forward with that knowledge. So highlighting like it is a journey. So I feel like going on a hike, they have the stick there. So assisting you in a lot of ways, where we talk about ones. So especially with ones, it's like the wands. So, we got like the Emperor for like, very four of wand energy, because it's the foundation. You know what I mean? And I feel like it's like standing firm on that foundation, or like, we've got the Three of Pentacles is what they're showing, is like working together. So from now till the 29th, they're talking about the cycle. Lunar eclipse and solar eclipse are this month, and they're only weeks apart. So, you know what I mean? This is where I feel like a journey, not so much emotional. The emotions are dried up more in this, usually with the traditional, you're crossing a body of water. But I love like the pine trees. They're all at different stages of growth. So that's where it's just like, I feel like the Three of Pentacles, all of our experiences may be different in this kind of aspect, but it's like coming together, collaborating together to find answers to move together as a whole. Page of Cups, hanging on to something so tightly of fear of losing it, but I feel like this is highlighting like kindred spirits are like seahorses always have their tails intertwined with each other. We got monarch butterflies together, so it's just like sometimes connections don't make sense in a like quote unquote logical kind of thing, textbook kind of thing. You know what I mean? But it's just like it doesn't. Who cares if it makes sense? It's like a connection is a connection. You know, especially if you're someone that has, you know, connections with people 1111, and so that's the Four of Wands. Again, celebrations. I feel like this is something coming out of the blue, some sort of celebration. I feel like this is something that was not expected. Unexpected pregnancy. Oh God. I know what I'm thinking of. I'm like, oh my God, she gets so mad. 555, change and transformation. That's hilarious. But, you know, I feel like, you know, kind of like with Wentworth where Ali and B, you know, but it's also, you know what I mean? It was more than sexuality. It was a connection. You know what I mean? There was just that chemistry there that you couldn't speak of. And those are the best relationships where, you know what I mean? There's something there, not even in in a platonic way. This could be like with a child, with a best friend, with, you know, people, you know, some people that are very close to me, you know, they're my soul sisters, tribe, whatever you want to call the, you know, family, you know, it's like your chosen family. It's just like, you can't speak of why it makes sense, but it just does. You know what I mean? It's just, you don't know why. You don't know why you're drawn to them. You don't know why it just works. It just, you know what I mean? And it's like missing that connection. Six of Pentacles. So again, with the Libra scales balancing out, we're talking about the yin and yang of things. I think for like weighing out things, I feel like a choice. Oh, look, like people's handout. You know what I mean? I feel like, you know, like when they're talking about celebrations, it's like keeping it close to your chest, like they're talking about poker. Like you're not, you know, sharing it with anyone, in the sense of like you're not, you know, like I would love to celebrate my wins, but you know, some people think that, oh, you know, you work hard for it, well, I'm entitled to a piece. You know, they're trying to shake you down. This is so reminiscent of 9 years ago. But you know what I mean? It's just like, you know, you're not old bupkis. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have to answer to anyone. I don't have to tell anyone. Like, you know, you do what you need to do. You can keep it to yourself, keep it to yourself. You know what I mean? Celebrate your wins. Celebrate your wins with the people that matter most. And unfortunately, some of those connections aren't, you know, physically here. You know, they're celebrating you wide. You know what I mean? Like they were saying, allow the universe, you know, Yahweh to bless your hands. Sometimes they utilize other people's hands. We always say no because we're like, what do you want in return? Because that's been the narrative. You do something nice for me, I'm going to have to pay for it in spades. It wasn't even worth it. They are showing the strength card. I feel like befriending the lion. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like she's done up the hair. Kind of looks like a leash, but not so much a leash because it's through the mane. I feel like Vikings where they braid their hair and they put the jewels or the gems or something in them. But I feel like befriending. You know what I mean? This could, again, be fur baby. But it also could be like, you know who has your back. Especially if you know of the others, if the other, the spiritual realm of things. This is where it's like, when in my situation, I was like calling on everybody, we were talking about this with the crow cards, and it's just like, I don't know what's going on here. Why is this happening? What can I do? Answered right away. You know what I mean? And I'm just like utilizing that, you know what I mean? Sitting there and putting the puzzle pieces together, doing what I can to like make sure that, this never happens again. Obviously, certain things are in my control, some things are not, but doing the very best that I can, you know what I mean? And, that's why I feel like they're saying collaboration. It's going to take a village. Ten of Pentacles. I love this because it's unconditional love, unconditional support. This is an absolute yes in the tarot. So, you're asking if things are going to work out, they're going to work out. I feel like especially because that Four of Pentacle card, where it's just like you're afraid of things not turning out the way that you want them to. And I feel like this is Spirit saying, hey, we got you. You know what I mean? Listen to the messages they're saying. Even if it doesn't make sense, you're just like, okay, I'm listening to you. I'm doing as you asked. But it's like, from what I could see, I don't understand. But it's like, it doesn't make sense. Like, it doesn't add up. But you know what I mean? How many things have happened in your life where it doesn't add up and it worked out? So I feel like, again, this is just like letting spirit do what they need to do. This is what you got to be wary of, especially in these energies of the new moon. It's just like, they're trying to put swords in you. They're trying to keep you down. This could be also outside enemies. They kind of look like third eyes, or where you say, like, may every evil eye go blind. Not third eye, evil eye. But this is where it's just like, you can either let these swords pierce you, or you actually see them for the reality that they are, instead of the illusion. So again, so maybe like lack of sleep. So we don't perform at 100% when we have lack of sleep. You know what I mean? But it's just like doing everything you can. So you didn't sleep well last night. Please don't go to bed or extra early tonight. Maybe, if you feel tired and you're ready to go to bed, yeah, go lay down, put the devices down, you know, and try to get some sleep. Maybe take a shower. If you're tossing and turning, go take a shower. Sometimes the humidity really weighs your body down and you can't sleep. Positive side of temperance is that everything's going to work out. Again, with the water and fire, yin and yang. Allow the universe. Usually the path that leads to the sun. So she does have feels like a dawn of a new day. I feel like this is Mars behind her. So a lot of personal readings I was doing, they were giving Mars energy. They were talking about communication, and it was very positive. They're showing the word grace. They're showing CAMP. I can't see the rest of it, so I'm not sure what they're trying to say there. But you know what I mean? I love that. It's just like find things that ground you, that let you just woosah. You know what I mean? Because, you know what I mean? It's just like, for me, I was just excited, and I was like, one thing happened. I'm like, this is going to be a pain. Hopefully it won't be. You know what I mean? You're doing the right thing, but it's just like it might be a pain. But on the other side, it's just like, you're looking at positive things, and then there's these little blips, and you're just like, ugh, can just, you know what I mean? Can just be left alone. So Ace of Cups, they're showing the cycles of the moon. So again, being cycles in your journey. I love with the eye, because we did see that 10 with the evil eye, but it's just like letting your third eye be open, downloading messages, being open to receiving messages, channeled images. You know what I mean? Like, spirit loves to gab. So just like, I'm tired. They were extra chatty last night. I'm like, please, I'm tired. Let me sleep. I'm like, one situation, I'm just like, you know what I mean? We all know what the truth is, and some people just love to play games. But I love the koi fish. We got this last time, I believe. I said these look like goldfish. That's the reason I remember. But I was drawn to the goldfish. But the koi fish, you know what I mean? Pisces may be significant here with the koi fish, but I always feel like it's just like a positive turn of things. They are seen as good omens. But allowing the universe to overflow your cup. Remember, I said you're going to be showering and all these good things that happen. You know what I mean? So even when there's these things that happen, it's a disruption. It's nothing major. Well, hopefully it's nothing major, but you know what I mean? The one situation can lead to something major, but putting one front in front of the other, doing the best you can. Wheel of Fortune. And this is a positive. So the hair, that's been around for a lot of the cards for the past couple of weeks. This is where it's just like, I like the gears in motion. They're like slowly moving. But again, even little steps, even slow movements are turning in the right way of positive change. You know what I mean? Like they say, like the smallest steps lead to the biggest, like bigger journeys are the biggest journey, or a journey. It's just like, keep moving in the direction you want to head to. Like with myself, it's just like, with myself asking Yeshua for energy to get through my shift. Because it's just like, I did not sleep good last night. But it's just like, what can you do? You know what I mean? It is what it is. Sometimes that's what life is. And you just keep moving forward. That's all you can do. It's nothing you can do about it. Some nights you sleep like a baby. Some nights you're just tossing and turning. 14-14. So lining up with what my mind eye was showing me. Oh, Blue Jays. I swear to you, I saw one yesterday and I was just like, oh, that's a sign. Again, with the cycles of the moon. So we are heading into the new moon right here. And they're showing until the waning crescent. So this will be early next week. I can't open Astro Seeker, else I would double check that for you. But you know what I mean? I feel like it's like cleansing yourself of what has happened. Especially highlighting the crown chakra here. It's like cleansing yourself of everything that has happened. Balancing emotions, grounding ourselves. So another key, message. I feel like these look like my cactus that's growing upstairs. But I love with the Blue Jays because I saw one and then I saw two, and I was like, oh, there's Dad. You know what I mean? Like, we were in a situation, and then we started seeing lots of Blue Jays, and I'm like, that's a positive omen. You know what I mean? So things have been going a little mushy mush. You know, take the signs where, you know, we were talking about birds of the air, animals that we were pulling from the crow inside card. So definitely on point with yesterday's reading. Three of Wands. So this is where Spirit is talking about. So I posted a video about how many crows you see. They call it counting crows, and they were showing them what they mean, their meaning. So I was like, write it down. Funny enough, seagulls. I was on TikTok yesterday, and someone was like videoing a seagull like it was an eagle, and I'm like, that's a seagull, not an eagle. I don't know. Maybe people love seagulls, but I think they're nuisance. Like, ugh. Flying poop house, as they call pigeons. But they're showing that your ship is about to come in. This is Spirit supporting you. So they know that the waters have been rocky. You see the waves crashing, ebb and flow. You definitely feel like that. But because I feel like orbs or like spirit, this is signs of them supporting you as you're so very kind of like where they're walking with the walking stick with the eight of cups moving forward. It's like, you know, same kind of symbolism as just like your support system. You know what I mean? You walk with a stick, it's supporting you as you move forward. So the Empress, so like, you know, we're talking about like the enchanted forest. It's like they're guiding you through something you're not, I feel like you're familiar with, but you don't have the knowledge or the know-how or how to move forward. And it's like, we're giving you that. So doing it with love, you know what I mean? Like that's what's going to work here. There's the hare again, another butterfly, a red one. I don't think I've ever seen a red butterfly. So that might be like a sticker, a picture. Kind of reminds me of kind of ladybug colors, but if it was a butterfly. So magic maybe in a lot of ways, but I feel like this is a time to do things out of love. This is not a time to hate. This is why I'm like, watch how you are interacting, especially when we're tired. It's like, or it's the things are going on, disturbances where, you know, it's affecting you negatively. And it's just like, be mindful of how you're putting that out to the people around you. I don't feel like this is not going to be a decision for you. This is who you are. I feel like going with that nurturing energy. It's just like, this is not even like, you don't even have to second guess it. This is just who you are. It's your energy. You know what I mean? Some situations call for a harder hand. Some situations call for a softer hand. And I remember when I went through something similar like this, it's like I wish someone would just give me a hug. Because sometimes that's all it needs. Sometimes all they need is your presence. You know what I mean? To know that, you know, you don't have to speak, you don't have to talk about it, but I'm here for you. You know what I mean? It's just like, you know, just showing up. You may not think it has value in it, but it does. See, like this 2 upside down looks like owl to me. I don't know why owls keep popping up with me. So the Hermit. So we kept on, remember we got like the 7 of Swords, which was deceit. There was like the 5 of Wands or 5 of Swords. There were a lot of like deceitful kind of cards. And I feel like that's what they're saying. Like, as you move forward, they've been trying to tell me some information. I'm like, I don't want to know. But it's going to make me sad. I don't want to know it. You know what I mean? Especially going through the things that I'm like, there's no room for that right now. So I feel like it's just like, as you're moving forward, there are some truths you'll have to know. Again, with the staff supporting you. This is wisdom I guess you have to know in order to move forward in a part of your life. 10 of Cups, unconditional love, happy home. So everything, so my girlfriend's initials are CM. So everything that, geese, oh my God, like that is so on point. Like that is a positive omen to get it. But it's just like a comfy cottage, you know what I mean, by the water and everything like that. So, and I feel like red bird, cardinal. So I feel like this is where Spirit is just like, you know, just because things look a certain way right now doesn't mean, you know, that this is going to be the rest of life. You know, even though we can't see all the way forward, bees may be significant, bumblebees specifically, honeybee. There we go again with the flowers as well. So these are very like, you know, positive symbolisms, omens. Like, you know, a lot of people be like, oh, well, it's summertime. Of course they're around. We have flowers. So it's like, you want to see the world through that kind of lens? Absolute. But if you want to see the magic in the world, I feel like these are supposed to be daisies, but they look kind of like dandelions when they're the poof, making wishes. Happy home life. Fur babies. There's a cat right here. Orange cat may be significant. So talking about my eagles, there's my eagle. There's the line that we saw before, allowing them to be by your side. You know what I mean? Lionsgate portal, your manifestations. But again, this is just spirit saying, hey, you know what? It may not be perfect, but things are wrapping up. That's the positive thing in here. You know what I mean? It's making the choices, and make them, helping them see that choice. That we need to move this direction. This is the way we need to move. This, if we're going to succeed, this is the way that things have to unfold. You know what I mean? And it's just like, not every day it's going to be perfect, but we'll do the best that we can. The positive things to see in that, I love like the wreath. Victor wearing the wreath, they're showing me the 6 of Wands, the Chariot. You're taking the reins of your life and you're making the choice to move forward, making this come to an end. You know what I mean? So maybe getting an award. Kind of looks like when you get trophies. They're saying participation award. Oh my God, that's so reminiscent of last. But again, be open to where spirit is trying to bless your hands. So even if it's in wisdom, you know what I mean? Not everything has to be a financial abundant kind of blessing. This is the cornucopia season. So just like the hermit saying that they're showing you snakes in your path. So these are people probably you have to purge. People, places, things. There's no room for this anymore. They're saying there's no room for temptation anymore. So moving forward in a positive light. May the universe bless you good. We'll see you for the next one.